How Gay Sex is Making Us Smarter by Grayson Wallace, published February 6, 2023 on newseeds.press. Read by Pilleater. You can find more of these articles on www.newseeds.press. The first time I had gay sex was during peak of the COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020. At the time, I was both suicidal for lack of human contact and also afraid for my job security. To compound matters, my girlfriend had recently left me because she expected me to get laid off after being outed as a social conservative. She could not, she related to me, afford to be dragged through the muck with me. Even though my boss had dutifully switched our entire project team to work remotely, he invited me to fly out to spend a long weekend with him at his second home in Colorado. His rationale was, knowing about my personal problems, and that 90% of my other coworkers are female or gay men, that maybe a weekend of men's time together in the Rockies would yield a much-needed boost to my mental health. To my surprise, it seems he had more on his mind than merely boosting my productivity. During an afternoon spent snowshoeing near Steamboat Springs, he made a distinctly sexual overture. He offered me oral sex to be kept in confidence between men. I consented, thinking that it would come with, at best, a promotion or, at worst, fortified job security. When I felt myself edging towards orgasm, he turned me around with his strong hands and penetrated me anally before I knew what was ever happening. I had the most powerful prostate orgasm in my life. In the afternoon of what I expected to be a shock to the system, it slowly occurred to me that the experience had made me nothing less than, well, smarter. More in the 2 years since the first initiation into the magical world of homosexuality, I realized that the cognitive gains from my experience were not an isolated event, but the gay sex in general makes you smarter. As somebody who counts himself as socially conservative, who is also straight and cisgendered, you might think that I'm a stalwart for heteronormativity and a denialist of the born that way mantra. And you'd be right. I do not think that homosexuality is genetic. Indeed, it's likely isn't, even though through recent research suggests that it can become quite ingrained. In spite of this, however, I not only have gay sex at every opportunity I can, but celebrate it as an elixir of human genius. As somebody with a middling IQ, I am an advocate and consumer of nootropics and all-around wellness performance supplements, like Kajava. Kajava doesn't just power your body. It's loaded with key nutrients that fuel and nourish your mind, turning you into a virile, post-geriatric social security cyborg ready to liberate all the maidens of Russia and China. Kajava and Choline, rich cognitive supplements like Genius Joy and Nuria, give me a competitive edge, eliminating brain fog and aiding me in navigating the whirlwind complexity of the postmodern, post-truth world. The reason why having gay sex makes you smarter is complex, but scientists think the mechanism underlying this cognitive boost is similar to the manner in which diversity makes us smarter. The reason for this is simple. By dint of the imperative of mental data compression, relying on biases and cognitive shortcuts with which we make sense of the world, we tend to gloss over the coarser fragments of reality with little frictions. When one interacts in the workplace with colleagues of the same ethnic, gender, or sexual background as ourselves, we tend to make assumptions about each other. For example, if we are born in the downwardly mobile former European American middle class, we tend to assume that our similar white male cisgender colleagues we are also born into debt slavery. In reality, however, they might have been born into intergenerational privilege, perhaps the descendants of slave owners, and will one day lord over you as your boss and oppressor, who will fuck your wives as liberty in the name of polyamory. When one's colleague is black, however, you as a white person must walk on eggshells, making absolutely no assumptions about common experience and common beliefs. The end result, then, is that one must take his or her time in piecing together a clear, unbiased picture of reality. The situation is no different in having gay sex. To feel what it's like to have another male's throbbing organ inside you, my rectum, has given me vast insight into the perspectives of gay men and women alike, thereby opening broad new vistas of reality. Not only that, but it taught me the virtue of submission to the stronger and smarter, to men and ideals more worthy of power over me in American society. Indeed, this ideal is corroborated by cutting-edge scientific research that links IQ with homosexuality. I'm not merely proud of being a man who has sex with men for the personal triumph over myself that it represents, but because it allows me to make the world a better place. By sharing this discovery with other cisgendered men who are trying to survive the world of tomorrow, who struggle to find legacy women they can relate to, but cannot afford the skyrocketing cost of sex changes, I believe I am doing good while doing well. In reality, as life partners, men can more easily see themselves in each other than they can in women. Considering this, I believe that this awakening is sending us, as a species, hurtling towards a hedonic singularity.